Tonight's game, the Red Raiders have a couple games under their belt, as well as the Larrys. What do you know about the Red Raiders so far, Jamie?
Well, the Red Raiders are, of course, coming off that Frontier League challenge. Of course, they went down to Watertown, a very impressive run there. They lost the game only by 3 points, and it was right in the very last seconds of the game. But I'll tell you, this Massena team has really come a long way since that first game against Carthage.
And the Larrys so far are doing a pretty good job here. Red Raiders are up by a basket so far. What do you know about the Larrys, Jamie?
Well, the Larrys going into this contest, of course, they've got veterans Bill Jones back again, and, of course, Chris Ward to lead them this season. And, of course, this is their first game of the 1994-95 campaign, Chad.
So it should be maybe a little bit of a rough start for them. We saw that with the Red Raiders against Carthage. A little bit of a slow start there, but they kicked it in coming into that second half, started to put some points on the board. Maybe we'll see a little bit of a slow start from St. Lawrence here, but I'm sure they'll get the bugs out and get down to their game plan. They always do here against the Red Raiders. Doesn't take long when these two teams get together to really fire things up and get going. Always the crowd plays a good factor here. They get a good turnout from the kids here at St. Lawrence Central, and a good showing across the way from Red Raider fans also here. Center court now, the Larrys control. We're going to have a foul called against the Massena Red Raiders as James Mock will pick up his first foul of the game. And taking the ball out of bounds, inbounds it will be Chris Ward for the Larrys. Ward takes a look around, gets it in now for Hamill. Back to Ward, now down in the corner, shot taken. That one's going to be off the front of the rim. The break short on that one. Ball out for Fredericks now for the Raiders. Fredericks brings it up, settles it down outside for McCulley. Mike McCulley under the basket. Shot taken there, rebound, and that one's stripped away from Kelly. Here comes Ward up the court now for the Larrys. Good layup there, Jamie. A little short on that one, and a good turnaround here for the Red Raiders, playing a fast break. That ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. Another one stolen away from Kelly right off the bat. That's something you're going to see here tonight, Jamie, between the Red Raiders and the Larrys. An awful fast-paced game.
We certainly are. I think we're going to see a lot of speed here, Chad.
The court here is so skinny because of the gymnasium here. If you go to take a three-point shot from all the way down in the corner, you're out of bounds. And so it's awful hard to get the three-pointers down there, but it's an awful, it seems like an awful short court, and they really run up and down it awful quick here. A lot of fast breaks you'll see here tonight, especially from St. Lawrence. They like to play that run-and-gun type of offense, and the Red Raiders, I'm sure Coach Dona likes to run that type of offense quite a bit, but he'll probably slow it down a little bit here against St. Lawrence and try and get them off their game plan, because if St. Lawrence can get Massena running, then they'll keep them off their game plan. Kelly at the line now, and he sinks his first one, 3-0 on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard here. Happy to have you along at Edwards Production Sports, and Kelly sinks his second free throw for a 4-0 lead here on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard as we are bringing you NAC boys basketball action here from St. Lawrence Central. Down under the basket, that one's going to go off a player and out of bounds, and the Red Raiders will take possession. Unable to control that one was Eric LeBrake of the Larrys. Ball quickly in. Mock settles it down. Dribbles it outside for Kelly. Kelly's got a player on the far side. Couldn't get it over to him. Top of the key for Mike McCulley. Far side for Fredericks. Underneath for Kelly. Good pass.
Beautiful pass right there.
That's what Coach Dona, Jamie's going to be looking for to slow down the game and move it around.
Well, the fireball, Mike McCauley, he moves the ball around very quick out there.
The Tasmanian Devil, that's what I like to call him. Just a real hyper kid and real aggressive and just a real pleasure to watch. He's so exciting to watch, just so animated and everything, and that's why I like to call him the Taz. Fredericks brings it down. Good turn there off the hoop. Mock's going to come up with it. Good rebound there from Mock, and he puts one in. James Mock picking up another basket here. Ward for three. No good off the back of the rim. Rebounded there by Mike McCulley. We're going to have a foul called against the Larrys, though. Getting a hand in on that one was Kevin Crump, and he's going to be called for his first foul. Red Raiders will get it out of bounds. Ball's inbounds now. Brian McCulley will bring it up over midcourt. Takes a look around, out to the key for his brother, Mike McCulley. Back for Brian now. Top of the key for Mike McCulley for three. Good. Mike McCulley picks up a three-pointer for the Red Raiders here. 5:42 left to play here in our first quarter on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. Red Raiders leading 11-2. Ball stolen away by Brian McCulley. Up over midcourt now, drives. Tries to go up the lane. That ball's going to be tapped out of his hands by Bill Jones. And the Raiders will keep possession as that one went out of bounds. What do you think so far, Jamie?
Well, I'll tell you, Bill Jones and Chris Ward, we're going to have to keep an eye on them for the Larrys. They're the big two tall targets inside. But Jamie Mock, I noticed that he's getting a little bit tougher underneath the boards. I noticed he was very aggressive when he got back the last time there. So Massena becoming a little bit more aggressive than what we saw in the Carthage game, Chad.
Alan Kelly with the rebound there, and 6'2" with the layup, and he had a tremendous game against Watertown, and Mike McCulley with a steal and brings it all the way down and puts one in for a layup and 2 points. We're going to have a timeout here for the St. Lawrence Central Larrys, so we are going to take a break as we have this timeout, and we will return in a moment. Enjoy a delicious meal in a relaxing atmosphere, along with a price you can afford at the Club 37 on Tripoli Road in Massena. The Club 37 offers daily lunch and dinner specials, open Monday through Friday for lunch 11 till 4, Tuesday through Sunday for dinner from 4 till 10. They specialize in seafood, steaks, and Italian food. Fine food and all your favorite beverages is what you'll find when you visit the Club 37 on Tripoli Road in Massena. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to St. Lawrence Larrys High School here, or St. Lawrence Central, rather, where the Larrys are hosting the Massena Red Raiders here for NEC boys basketball action. Red Raiders leading 15-2 with 5:03 left to play here in our first quarter on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. Happy to have you along here on Edwards Production Sports for NEC basketball. Lots of basketball action to come here this winter, Jamie.
Oh, boy, we have a plethora of both boys and girls games, Chad.
Some of them we will be doing live here on Edwards Production Sports. We hope that you'll join us here. Actually, we hope that you'll come out and watch the games in person. We'd rather have you come out and cheer on the kids ourselves, but if you can't make it, we hope you'll tune in throughout the season and watch some live basketball in Edwards Production Sports. A tremendous crowd on hand here tonight, Jamie, for this game between the Massena Red Raiders and the hosting Larrys. Red Raiders off to a good jump here in this first quarter, leading by 13 points. Down in the corner for Mock. Mock dishes it outside. Brian McCulley for three. He's going to be short off the rim. Picks up his own rebound, though. Driving, trying to dish it off, and we're going to have an offensive foul called against Brian McCulley and the charge, and we'll get a turnover for the Larrys.
Yeah, it's a little bit too aggressive trying to come down the lane right there, Chad, and he gets called for the offensive foul.
Coach Dona spoke very highly of the two McCulley boys that are playing guard for him, Brian and Mike, this year, and he's looking for a lot out of them this year, Jamie.
There's an awful lot of hustle right there, Chad, between the two of them. We saw that evident in Mike McCulley in that first game that we saw against Carthage.
And Brian, I think, is a senior this year, and Mike is a sophomore,
yes,
I'm pretty sure.
That's correct.
Both of them also tremendous soccer players, as Brian did a great job in the sweeper back position for Pat Henry over the last couple of years.
Excuse me, Chad, that's one thing we do have here. We have a plethora of football and soccer players out here tonight on both squads.
Akins in the corner now, works it around out for Brian McCulley. Now to Fredericks. Fredericks drives inside, puts it up. Little too hard on that one, Jamie, and it just bounced off the back of the rim and out. St. Lawrence with the rebound. St. Lawrence now is what they're going to have to try and do is tie up the big men from Massena underneath the basket. Another steal there by Mike McCulley. Little short on that one. Ward comes up with a rebound, and that's something that the Larrys are going to have to do, Jamie. Get back and try and tie up the big men from the Red Raiders and see if they can't come up with some rebounds, make them force them to shoot outside. And this is something for the Larrys also. Good three-pointer there for Ward, and that was something I was just going to mention.
Big one
If
from downtown.
If St. Lawrence wants to stay in this one, Jamie, they're going to have to hit the outside shots because Massena's just got several players that they can stick down underneath the basket in the lane and just keep picking out those rebounds all night long.
Chris Ward was hitting quite a few three-pointers in practice there, Chad, so we'll have to keep an eye on him.
15-5 now on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. 3:17 left to play in our first quarter. Shot taken. That one's off the front of the rim there as Bill Jones was then able to put that one in. That one's going to go out of bounds off of Jones, and the Red Raiders will keep possession. Jamie Mock will inbounds the ball, but some substitutions first. Entering the game for the first time will be Frontera for the Red Raiders. Chris Frontera, he will give a rest to Brian McCulley. Aiken with it now. Top of the key, gives it to Mike McCulley. This is what I like about Mike McCulley. You see him egg on Jeremiah Hamill there, Jamie. He's just he's so animated when he plays. It's just a funny player. Just an exciting player to watch. Outside now, shot taken by the Layers. Good one there. Eric LeBrake sinks 2. 17-7 now on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. Fredericks brings it down, dishes it off. James Mock with it. Shot outside, off the side of the rim, and we're going to have a offensive pushing foul called against the Red Raiders and Corey Aiken. And we'll have a turnover for the St. Lawrence Larrys. Chris Ward ready to inbound the ball, but Kelly will enter the game once again. Fredericks is going to come out of the game for a rest here, so I'm sure we will see Coach Steve Dona working in several players here to give everybody a chance to play here today. Also keep some fresh legs out there.
That's one thing Coach Dona does do. He uses his bench quite a bit.
There's Ward again. Chris Ward with another three-pointer here. It's 17-10 now on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard.
Ward is on fire from downtown right now.
Outside, shot taken off the side of the rim there. Chris Frontera tried to put in a three-pointer. Mock outside now. Jamie Mock's going to drive the lane, puts it up off the basket, gets the foul. And he's going to go to the line to try and make this a three-point play, Jamie.
And you can count that basket. Big play by Mock. And again, Chad, I think we're seeing a more aggressive Jamie Mock than we saw in that Carthage Comet game by far.
I think in the game that you saw here in Edwards Production Sports, both teams were extremely nervous coming into that game, and it showed in that first half, but you could tell what type of basketball it was in that second half when they got the bugs out and they got down to business, because both teams really did a good job in that second half. James Mock short on the free throw, and it goes out of bounds, so we'll have throw-in for the Larrys. Chris Ward brings it up for St. Lawrence now, dishes it outside. We're going to have a foul called against Alan Kelly as he stuck the leg out there, and
I don't know, but what that's Kelly's second foul too, Chad. I'll have to check and see, but
yes, it is. It is his second foul. Jeremiah Hamill was the one that that Alan Kelly decided to foul, and quickly Steve Dona says, we got to get you out of there. We need you. Can't get you in foul trouble this early. Shot taken outside off the rim. Jones with the rebound, tries to tuck it underneath. Larry's come up with the rebound once again, off the glass and in. Good rebounding there from Eric LeBrake. Jamie went up strong, down in the middle, come up with it, put it off the glass, and brings the game within 7. Ball comes back to him again. LeBrake outside. That one's going to be off the back of the rim. Mock comes up with it, gives it outside now for McCulley. Mike McCulley up over midcourt. Side pass, good bounce pass there, Jamie, right through everybody, but we got a traveling foul called against Chris Frontera. And Steve Dona is going to bring in some substitutions as the Red Raiders force another turnover.
Mike McCauley, you noticed on that last run, Chad, that he does not waste any time at all. He gets down there, and it's like, all right, who's here?
Yeah.
If you're missing, you're not going to get in on one of his plays. He gets there.
He's a very heads-up player, and
yes, he is.
And he's not afraid to force the ball. And what's nice about Mike McCauley is he will get the ball to you in those tight situations, and that's what makes him an outstanding player, and that's why I like watching him. He takes those chances, and it makes the game exciting. Brian McCulley drives down. He's fouled on the play.
And the foul is going on Courtney Cole, who just scored just a minute ago, Chad.
I was just going to mention that. Thank you, Jamie. 55 seconds left here in our first quarter. 14 on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. Hope you're enjoying our contest here today from St. Lawrence Central as the Larrys are hosting the Red Raiders.
We're seeing a different...
55 seconds left to play in our first quarter here.
Excuse me, Chad, we're seeing an entirely different Massena squad here than what we saw earlier on. This is, they're not tight. We noticed that in the last game. We talked to Coach Dona, and he said that both teams were tight, and I have to agree with that in that last game we saw them in. But this is an entirely different team than what we saw.
Massena's playing a well-controlled game here tonight, settling the ball well, passing the ball well. And the big thing we're seeing today that we didn't see as much against Carthage is defensively, the Red Raiders are coming down with an awful lot of rebounds so far. Brian McCauley at the line, sunk his 2 free throws, rather. Fredericks brings it up, dishes it outside now. Underneath the basket for Mock. Mock tries to get it underneath for Barton, but he was rejected on the play by Bill Jones and fouled during that rejection, so James Mock will go to the line for the Red Raiders.
Boy, I thought Jones got all ball on that one, but I guess not.
40 seconds now left to play in our first quarter. 21-14 on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. Off the back of the rim.
Jamie Mock 0 for 2 at the foul line right now.
St. Lawrence fans trying to goof him up, and another short free throw from James Mock, and Larry's get the ball out of bounds once again. 40 seconds left here on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard in this first quarter. As the Larrys bring it up over midcourt now. Chris Sterrett with it, works it around, takes a look around, looks for somebody. Looking for Jones. Now coming back after it is Chapman. Ben Chapman down underneath now. Gets it in for Arquette. That ball was played out of bounds. Boy, from here, Jamie, it looked like Chris Sterrett kept that in play.
Well, he tried to. He tried to get it over in back of him and get it back into play, but I guess not.
Referee's called out of bounds. The ball inbounds there. Taken away. Ward off the glass. A little too hard now. Bill Jones underneath. Good rebound. Real strong going up after that one. Jamie picks it up, puts it in. Another 2 points there for Bill Jones here in this first quarter. Down to just 10 seconds now. Underneath the basket. Rebounded by Mock. Mock turns, puts it in for 2.
Nice play by Jamie Mock underneath the basket.
Sterrett brings it up, and that's going to end our first quarter of play. 23-16 is our score on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. We are going to take a break. We'll be back to bring a second quarter action right after this.
When it's time to build, head for Massena Building Supply and Northern Building Supply, your Golden Rule Lumber Centers. Supplying the North Country with the best selection and price on all your building and remodeling needs. At Massena and Northern Building Supply, you'll get the best in service from friendly professionals. Whether you need tools, lumber, paint, or an entire kitchen or bath, all your building needs can be met right here at your Golden Rule Lumber Centers, Massena and Northern Building Supply.
Frenchie Chevrolet Olds, 255 East Orvis Street in Massena, offers a vast inventory of new and used vehicles as well as state-of-the-art service in Mr. Goodwrench GM parts, plus complete body and glass repair and maintenance, and also AAA approved 24-hour wrecker service. For all your automobile needs, see the professionals at Frenchie Chevrolet Olds, 255 East Orvis Street, Massena.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to St. Lawrence Central High School here in Brazier as the Larrys host the Massena Red Raiders for NEC boys basketball action. Happy you're joining us here on Edwards Production Sports. Jamie Davis and Chad Edwards here calling all the action for you. First quarter action, Jamie, pretty exciting one. Not too bad. A little bit of a slow start for St. Lawrence, but they've kicked it back in.
Well, they're not playing too bad for a team that hasn't been out this season. They look pretty good out there.
Just down by 6 points now. Jones from outside for 3. That one's going to be off the glass. Rebounded by Brian McCauley. As McCauley brings it up now. Settles it down. Outside for Aiken. For Fredericks now. Top of the key. They try and force it down in for Mock. A turnover there as Ward brings it up. Dishes off for Ben Chapman. Good block there up against the glass by Brian McCauley,
wow.
Jamie.
What a block by McCauley. That was a great block right there, and that definitely foiled a 2.
Jones comes up with the steal for the Larrys. Bill Jones playing an outstanding first half here so far, Jamie. Ward for 3. Off the glass, no good. Almost rebounded there by the Larrys. Chapman comes up with it now. Ben Chapman settles it down, looks for somebody down underneath the basket. Fredericks is going to come up with it, trying to look down inside for Richie Arquette. Couldn't get it to him, and the Red Raiders come up with the turnover, Jamie. The Taz sends it outside for Fredericks. Now Mock. He's going to be called on to travel, though. And we're going to have a turnover, and Coach Steve Donor wants a turnover right away here, so we've got a stoppage of play. 7:05 left to play here in our first half. 23-16 is our score on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. We are going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
LaRue Oil and Brazier Quick Stop on Route 11 in Brazier have everything you need under one roof. Groceries, cold beer and soda, video rentals, year-round fishing supplies, ammo and hunting supplies, also gas, diesel fuel, and kerosene. On special now in the 12-pack cans is Genesee Light, $5.39, Coors Light, $6.99, Bud Light, just $6.99, and Michelob Light, 18-pack, just $9.99. Coca-Cola, 16-ounce, 6-pack, just $2.99, or a single 16-ounce bottle, just 56 cents. All prices plus tax and deposit. At your one-stop headquarters, LaRue Oil and Brazier Quick Stop, Route 11, Brazier.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to St. Lawrence Central, as the Red Raiders are leading the Larrys here in our first half of play for NAC boys basketball, 23-16 with 6:56 to play here in our second half on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. Tonight's game being brought to you by Club 37, Massena Building Supply, Frenchie Chevrolet Olds, LaRue Oil and Brazier Quick Stop, Michelex Plastics, Susie Travel, Hotel Netto, WB Goodnow Insurance Agency, World of Color, Whalen Insurance, and by TVI. Once again, thank you to all those sponsors that are helping to bring you NAC boys basketball action tonight here on Edwards Production Sports from St. Lawrence Central in Brazier, New York. A good contest here as we've got a foul called against the Larrys. The ball was inbounds to Jamie Mock. Red Raiders will get the ball out of bounds.
And that is Chris Ward's first foul right there.
One more team foul, and the Red Raiders will be going to the line. James, no, check that. That's only the second team or second foul for the Larrys. Is that correct?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think it's six. I think it's six apiece, Chad. The scoreboard here, a couple of the lights missing up there, but I believe it's six apiece right now.
Okay, so next foul, each team will be going to the free throw line. Here comes the Taz. Tries to break through, keeps control of the ball. Tries to tuck it down underneath for Jamie Mock, and that goes off of Mock and out of bounds, and the Larrys force the turnover and get the ball back. 23-16 is our score on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. And Jamie, I told you it was going to be an exciting game when we got started. The Larrys don't like to lose to the Red Raiders. Beautiful pass underneath for Jones. Jones comes up with the rebound, and Brian McCulley is going to foul him. Good dish underneath the basket by Chris Ward to catch Bill Jones under there wide open. Jones put off the glass a little hard the first time, come up with his own rebound, and Brian McCulley come right in and just mobbed him.
That is Brian McCulley's second foul, by the way, Chad.
So Bill Jones will go to the line for the Larrys.
Everybody remembers Bill Jones, of course, St. Lawrence Larry's football star, and now has picked it up here in the winter sports with basketball.
Jones sinks his first free throw and nails his second. 23-18 now is our score, a 5-point game. Larry's really picked it up here in the second quarter, Jamie, forcing the Red Raiders to have to play a little bit harder here. Fredericks, good job there, gets his own rebound, bats it out to Brian McCulley, now throws it up from the corner, picks up 2 points. Mike Fredericks doing a great job for Steve Dona this year. He played a little bit last year for Steve Dona, did a great job there, and has picked up a starting role this year for the Massena Red Raider team. Red Raiders are coached by Steve Dona, and there's a three-pointer from Therrett. He nails it. Chris Therrett with a three-pointer, and here comes Brian McCulley as the Larrys are celebrating. McCulley drives it down the right side, and he's fouled.
Don't turn your back on the McCaulleys for very long. They're like a bullet out of a gun. They're going to be right on top of you before you can blink your eyes.
All the Larrys come over to congratulate Therrett. The next thing you know, McCulley's coming down the right side, tries to throw it up, and Jones check that. Chris Ward fouls him, and Brian McCulley will go to the line. The Red Raiders are coached by Steve Dona, assistant coach Steve Roberts, and the Larrys of St. Lawrence Central. Joe Jubenville, and the assistant coach is Butch Soretta. McCulley sinks his first throw, 26-21 on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. McCulley at the line, sinks his second one, 27-21, 6-point game here with 5:36 left on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. Happy to have you along. Hope you're enjoying this contest tonight. I know I am.
I certainly am, I can tell you that. This is one of the biggest rivalries in the NAC right here.
You know, Jamie, I didn't watch much basketball, high school basketball when I was in high school. And since we've started the TV station, I've really come to love high school basketball. It's very exciting, and it's quite a thrill when you can come out and watch the guys play because they play so hard, and it's really it's an exciting game to watch. And the high school is just as good as any of the games you can see on television in the pros and in the college games, as far as I'm concerned, because the kids give it just as much of their all. And we hope throughout the season that we'll see a lot of you fans out here watching the Larrys, the Shamrocks, and the Red Raiders throughout the season. And
it's always great to see a sporting event live, Chad. I can tell you that.
That's for sure. I know we're going to be here, whether it's being taped or not. I enjoy the basketball very much. Alan Kelly at the line, sinks his first one. Coming up tomorrow night, Jamie, will be live hockey action as the Ogdensburg Blue Devils visit the Massena Red Raiders.
Another big rivalry right there.
We hope to see a humongous crowd at the Massena Arena because it's going to be an outstanding game, and you're going to want to see it in person because when the Red Raiders and the Old Fay Blue Devils come to town, it's a heck of a matchup, that's for sure.
It always is in hockey.
So bring your banners, bring your sweatshirts, bring your flags, and bring your horns because we want to hear you. And make sure you come out to the Massena Arena. I think the game starts at 7 o'clock, Jamie, Wednesday night. And if you can't make it, make sure you tune in to Channel 24 and watch it live. Going to the line now will be Mike McCulley for the Red Raiders. 4:53 left here in our first half on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. It's 28-21. The Raiders leading the Larrys of St. Lawrence. Some substitutions now. Sorry, Jamie.
Chris Therrett has picked up his first foul of the evening.
Bill Jones comes out and takes a rest. And coming in here for him is Courtney Cole. McCulley at the line. Off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Mock. Mock off the glass. And that one's going to be kept in by the Larrys. And coming up with it there was Kevin Crump. Crump brings it up. Leaves it for Therrett now. Therrett settling it down. Outside. Stolen away by Fredericks. 3-on-1 here. Fredericks pulls up and shoots off the glass. Rebounded there by Kevin Crump. We're going to have a foul call against Brian McCulley. And Jamie, Brian McCulley's in foul trouble.
He certainly is. That's his third personal foul right there, Chad. And but a nice grab by Mike Fredericks right there. Good eye contact right there with and keeping an eye on the ball. And he picked that ball off, but unable to connect at the other end.
Steve Dona quickly taking Brian McCulley out of the game. Chris Frontera in the game now for the Red Raiders. I'm sure we won't see any more of Brian McCulley in this first half because Steve Dona is going to want to save him for that second half. A key player for the Red Raiders. Try and keep him out of foul trouble at least going into that second half. What's Brian McCulley have here in the first half, Jamie, for points?
Well, Brian has got 2 points here in the first half, and they both came when he went to the free throw line. So, but he's on the bench right now, and you can't do much scoring while you're over there.
Mike McCulley sends it outside for Fredericks now. Fredericks drives. The basket counts. Blocking foul call against Kevin Crump. And Mike Fredericks will go to the line to try and make it a three-point play. 28-22, 4:26 left to play here in our first half on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard.
Now that is Crump's second foul, and now I think he's going to be coming out of the game. And coming into the game will be, once again, Bill Jones, Chad.
So Jones back into the game for the Red Raiders. Three big guys out there now. Jones, Cole, rebounded underneath. Kelly, good job there. Rebounded, steps to the other side of the basket, gets out of the way of some traffic, lays it up for two. The other big guy out there now for the Larrys, Eric LeBrake. We'll see what happens now with this matchup. Therrett outside with it now. Down in the corner for LeBrake. LeBrake pulls up for two off the front of the rim. Rebounded there by Frontera. He leaves it now for Mike McCulley. As McCulley brings it up. Guarded by Jeremiah Hamill now. McCulley going one-on-one with Hamill. Gives it for Mock. I don't think Jamie Mock was expecting that pass.
I don't think so either.
Hit him in the chest and he caught it there, but we've got a foul called against Alan Kelly under the basket there.
Jamie Mock had a look on his face. Where did this come from?
Yeah, I don't think he expected Mike McCulley that this shot went off, but
just put my hands out here and look what ended up in it.
Tried to get it down underneath for Alan Kelly after that, and turnover here for the Larrys. Bringing it down in outside for Therrett. Therrett pulls up, settles it down now, sends it back for Hamill. Hamill for Jones, and that one's blocked, Jamie. Now sent down court. Bringing it down in. Frontera for two, no good. Mike McCulley underneath the basket. Boy, can he jump. He was up there on that rebound, Jamie.
For a small individual, he can get right up there.
The Taz.
Oh,
what
my.
a block.
Jamie Mock with authority.
In your face, he said with that one.
My.
Big block there by Jamie Mock. So the Larrys will get this one out of bounds.
Big hand on it that
time. Ball thrown there. Good one for Ward, Chris Ward. off the glass. And the Red Raiders pick up 2 more. Three minutes left to play here on our Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. Underneath the basket, no good. Almost gets his own rebound there. Jamie was Eric LeBrake, and he's having a good game here for the Larrys tonight.
Well, he is. Eric is all over the place out there.
That's for sure. Down underneath the basket, shot taken off the rim. Rebounded there by Cole, and Jones is going to come up with it. Outside, shot taken for 3. Good! Jeremiah Hamill picks up the 3, 35-27.
That's his
on the
first
Brazier
points
Quick Stop scoreboard. Sorry, Jamie.
That's his first points of the game right there, and here's a chance for a 3-point play for Massena.
Chris Frontera takes it down, puts in the 2, and is fouled on the play, and we're going to have a chance for Chris Frontera to go to the line and try and make this a 3-point play.
The foul is on Courtney Cole, and that is his 3rd personal foul, and Cole will go to the sidelines.
So Courtney Cole, we haven't seen too much of him here in this first half, but 3 quick fouls, and I don't think we'll see any more of him in this next 2 minutes and 33 seconds, as Coach Joe Jubenville, I'm sure, will save him for second half play. Make sure nothing happens here.
And I think we just lost one of the lights up here on top.
It does look that way, doesn't it? Yes, we did, right in the center here. I thought it got a little bit darker there. I didn't think it was my eyes. It could be. Mike McCulley pulls up, gives it to Alan Kelly. Kelly fakes, down underneath the basket, off the glass. Good drive by Alan Kelly. Tapping it off the glass and picks up another 2 points here in this first half for the Red Raiders.
Kelly's leading the scoring right now with 9 points for the Massena Red Raiders.
Alan Kelly had a good weekend against the Watertown team that Steve Dona come up and talking to us before tonight's contest. Mike McCulley with it now on the steal, off the glass for 2.
4 now for McCulley. Should say Mike McCulley.
Ball comes outside. Fredericks comes up with the rebound now. Fredericks trying to bring it up. We're going to have a blocking foul called against Jeremiah Hamill. And I think that's going to send Fredericks to the line. 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard as the Raiders are leading 42-27 here in our first half. And substitution. Sorry, Jamie, go ahead.
That's Hamill's 2nd personal foul, Chad, out in there.
Mike Barton will enter the game for the Red Raiders. Alan Kelly will take a rest.
Massena is being quite aggressive tonight, Chad. I don't know whether you've noticed that or not, but they have been very, very aggressive.
Jamie Mock with the rebound off of that play. Picks it up, sinks it for 2. Jamie Mock and Alan Kelly have been doing a fantastic job underneath the basket tonight, bringing down some tough rebounds and going up real strong, Jamie. And it showed a lot here on the scoreboard. And the Red Raider, the Larrys, have LeBrake, 2 opportunities there. Now, sinking that one was Bill Jones. But the Larrys, on the other hand, Jamie, they have gone up really strong and come up with some really, real tough rebounds. And when they have, they've thrown the ball up 2 or 3 times. But that's what's gotten them as many points as they have, as Bill Jones has done a fantastic job under the basket, coming up with some offensive rebounds. And also LeBrake, who's been phenomenal here for the Larrys so far in this first half. Stolen away by Mike McCulley there. Takes a second attempt at it. Unsuccessful once again. McCulley with another steal. And now he's going to be called on the foul. The Taz is on the loose.
The Taz is all over the floor here, and I would dare say in about 3 seconds, 4 seconds time, he had 3 steals. That's almost a steal a second.
3 steals, 2 attempts at the basket. And a foul. I'd say he's working hard out there.
That's an awful lot of hustle out there for one ball player, I can tell you that.
All within 3 seconds, like you said.
And he's looking over towards the bench. I think the way he's breathing right now, his tongue is almost all the way down to the floor. All over the place tonight.
And a ball thrown up there, rebounded by Bill Jones. We're going to have a foul called against Bill Jones now. At the line taking the free throws was Jeremiah Hamill. And unsuccessful. The Red Raiders now will come down and toss a couple themselves. 42 seconds left on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard.
That's Jones's 2nd personal foul, Chad.
46-29 is our score now. Substitutions as Cole comes back in the game, and coming out of the game is Bill Jones.
Well, they figure it's probably safe to send Joe Jabinville sending Cole back in, even though he has 3 personal fouls. He'll have to keep it clean, though, with 42 seconds remaining.
I was just going to say, probably told him, stay out of trouble. You only have 42 seconds.
Yeah, I need you in the second half.
Exactly. Bernstein sinks his first free throw at the line and nails his second. .40 seconds left. Outside. Good three-pointer there, Jamie, from Eric LeBrake, and he's all over the place out there tonight.
He certainly is. He's outside. He's inside. He's really playing a great game out there.
Mike Barton bringing the ball up. Now gives it for Fredericks. That one's going to be knocked out of bounds off of Richie Arquette. Barton trying to get it in bounds. Now gets it for Pete Fernstein. Fernstein gives it to Mike McCulley. Mike McCulley working it around, guarded by Hamill now. Outside for Fredericks. Fredericks drives down inside the lane. The ball stolen away, and we're going to have a travel called against Mike Fredericks. And the ball turned over in favor of the Larrys. Barrett ready to inbounds it. In for Hamill now. Hamill guarded by Mike McCulley. 11 seconds on the clock. We got a foul called against Mike McCulley now.
And that is Mike's second personal foul. And maybe Mike being, I don't know, maybe a little over-aggressive right now, especially in the latter stages of this second period.
That's what makes him the player that he is, though, Jamie. He's very exciting to watch. He never gives up for 1 second on that court, and he really develops a lot of plays for the Red Raiders with his aggressiveness. But like you said, with aggressiveness comes fouls, and that's part of the game. So he picked up a second, and Coach Steve Dona says, let's take you out and give you a rest. There's only 10 seconds left, and we'll fire you back up for the second half and let the whirlwinds go.
Fire him back up is exactly a good choice of words right there for Mike McCulley.
And Jeremiah Hamill nails two at the line underneath for Fernstein. Fernstein short on the first one, gets his own rebound. Cole comes up with it. Outside now, long throw off the glass, and that was going to be no good as we end our first half of play on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. It's 48-24. And Jamie, you want to recap that first half? What do we have for some points unofficially here?
Well, we take a look at one of the things that we ought to kind of take a good long look at, Chad, is the fact of how many fouls everybody has. Right now, Brian McCauley is in sort of foul trouble with 3 fouls. Jamie Mock has 3 fouls on him. I come down the line for the St. Lawrence Central Larrys right now with 3 fouls is Courtney Cole, but there's an assortment of other fouls, so we may see some player changes going into the second half. As far as the points go, right now it looks like Alan Kelly is leading the Massena Red Raiders with 9 points. This is unofficial, by the way. We're going to make sure of this.
And how about for the Larrys? Who's the leading scorer going into the second half?
Well, the Larrys right now have got, I believe it is Chris Ward. He has 8.
Okay.
And it is Ward right now with 8 points leading the Larrys going into the second half.
Okay, we're at halftime here at St. Lawrence Central. The Red Raiders are leading the Larrys by a score of 48-24 on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. We are going to take a break, and we'll be back to bring you second half action right after this. We hope you'll stay with us. Portions of this broadcast is brought to you today by Michelex Plastics of Massena. Susie Travel, a full-service agency. Instant computerized reservations, and Susie Travel now has service after hours. You can phone in reservations till 9 p.m. on weekdays and until 5 p.m. on weekends. All major credit cards accepted. Travel for fun or business. Your arrangements will always be handled professionally and efficiently. Once you've traveled with Susie Travel, you'll never travel with anyone else. Phone 769-2932.
Enjoy the live entertainment and great company at the Hotel Netto, 43 Andrew Street in Massena. On Friday and Saturday, boogie to the sounds of nightlife from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. On Tuesday night, it's a singing affair with karaoke by Jerry Morin. On Sunday, enjoy football on the large screen TV with complimentary wings. And be sure to take advantage of the after-work specials Friday from 4 to 7. Great entertainment, great company, and of course great beverages at Hotel Netto, 43 Andrew Street, Massena.
Welcome back to St. Lawrence Central High School. Here is the Larrys host the Massena Red Raiders for NEC boys basketball action. We're glad that you're joining us here for second half action on Edwards Production Sports. Jamie Mock picks up 2 points here to start off the second half. Recapping that second half, scoring for the Red Raiders, Jamie, what do we have for the Red Raiders in that first half?
Well, in that first half, we take a look at the scoring. Jamie Mock led the Massena Red Raiders with 10 points. Kelly had 8. Frederick had 6. Mike McCauley had 7. And Frontera had 7. And for the St. Lawrence Larrys, Ward led the scoring with 8. Jones was second with, LeBrake was second with 7. Jones was third with 6. Therrett and Hamill had 3, and Cole had 2.
Jones tried to put one up, and it was blocked by Jamie Mock. Now off the glass as Ward picks up 2 more. Good rebounding, a good extra effort there to come up with that ball. Almost stolen away there as Aikens keeps control. Mike McCauley tries to force it forward. That one's stolen away. And right there to pick that one up was Eric LeBrake. Back out to the top for LeBrake. LeBrake fakes it, drops it down underneath. Back outside now. Working it around. LeBrake with it once again. We're going to have a travel called against Eric LeBrake. The ball will be turned over to the Red Raiders. Jamie Mock underneath the basket ready to inbounds it. Scott Fredericks out on the far side. Taking a look around. Out for Kelly now. Kelly up for Aiken. Corey Aiken takes it up. Cross-court pass for Fredericks, and Mike Fredericks unable to handle that one, Jamie, as it goes out of bounds. And a turnover for the Larrys as Ward sends it in, and bringing it up now is Jeremiah Hamill. Mike McCauley out to guard on him. Down underneath, almost blocked by Mock there. Ward comes underneath the basket, blocked by Mock there, off the glass, a little too short. Ward comes up with it once again underneath. That one's blocked. And right there to pick up the rebound was Eric LeBrake, and the Larrys were all over that one, Jamie.
Well, they certainly were, but I'll tell you, the turnovers so far have hurt the Red Raiders here at the beginning of the second half.
Mock tried to throw up a three-pointer there, a little short off the front of the rim. And the Larrys come up with the rebound, and bringing it up now is Hamill once again.
Bill Jones, number 22, has been pretty aggressive under the boards. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Here's Jones right here.
Out for Hamill for 3, out the front of the rim. And LeBrake almost come up with the rebound there, but Jamie Mock getting a hand in there and snagging it in real quick. Up and for Fredericks for 3, a little too long on that one. Aiken comes up with the rebound, now off the glass. Kelly with the rebound. Kelly goes up. He's going to be fouled by Chris Ward. And that will...
Now they give the foul to Jones. Bill Jones is going to get the foul, and we'll have to wait and see. They say that is his 3rd personal foul. Well, I made a mistake there. I had him down for 4, but that is Jones' 3rd personal, Chad.
So Alan Kelly at the line, sinks his first free throw. Kelly with 9 points now in this game. Sinks his second. And the buzzer sounds. We are going to have a substitution as Ben Chapman will come into the game. And taking a rest will be Bill Jones for the Larrys as Hamill brings it up the floor now for the St. Lawrence Larrys, who are trying to kick something in here as they are down by 14 points. Jones brings it up, drives the lane, and he is going to be called on the offensive foul as Jamie Mock planted himself and waited for Jones to try and drive the lane and force the turnover, and the Red Raiders get the ball back underneath the basket.
And that is Ward's 3rd personal foul, and they can't afford to lose him in there.
Several of the key players now for the Larrys are in pretty tough foul trouble right now as Fredericks brings it up the floor. Good turn there by Fredericks, puts it on the floor. Kelly comes up with the rebound, sinks it again, and Kelly's got 12 points in the game now for the Massena Red Raiders.
Good play by Frederick, though. We saw him make that spinorama move in the game against Carthage, too.
Ben Chapman from outside. That one's going to go off the top of the basket. Not the rim, but the top of the basket, and out of bounds. We haven't seen the whirlwinds from the Taz yet, but it's still to come, I'm sure, Jamie.
I'm sure it is.
Aikens dishes off for Fredericks. Good dish off now to Mock. Mock drives the lane. 2 points for Jamie Mock.
Jamie Mock's having a great game out there right now.
Hamill brings it up the floor for the Larrys. Outside for Ben Chapman. Chapman tries for 3 off the back of the rim. Hamill almost comes up with the rebound. Now, nice long pass for Fredericks. Fredericks with the layup. Jamie Mock picked up the rebound, and good heads-up play as he saw Mike Fredericks breaking, and the Larrys are going to call a timeout. Try and slow things down here as the Red Raiders pick up several points real quick here. 4:49 left to play here in our third quarter. 58-38 on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to St. Lawrence Central, as the Red Raiders are leading the Larrys by a score of 58-38 here in our third quarter of play as we look up at the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. 4:49 left to play in this third quarter. Chris Ward brings the ball up court now for the Larrys. Works it over half court, drives down, dishes it off under the basket. That one's blocked by both Aiken and Kelly on that one, Jamie.
Wow.
As Kevin Crump tried to put that one up and off the glass.
Both of them getting up there. They didn't have much of a chance there.
Chapman drives off the glass and sinks two.
And that is Ben Chapman's first points of the ball game, Chad.
Mike McCulley now dished it out for Aiken. Corey Aikens with lots of room, puts it up, sinks it for two. You know, I was watching Corey Aikens during warm-up, Jamie, and he was just pumping them from that distance. One right after another. I think he missed about 3 shots out of about 20 that he took there. So by leaving him all that room, they were giving that basket to him. Ward way off the mark on that one, but comes up with a steal as Mike McCulley tried to bring it up court, and Ward throws it away.
Well, Ward got away with one there. He grabbed a hold of Aiken's jersey, and just as Aiken started to take a step, Ward grabbed his jersey and pulled him back.
Chris Ward with a block there. That one goes out of bounds.
I have never seen that, I don't think, ever in basketball before. And you should have seen the look on Aiken's face.
What the ref can't see doesn't hurt him, right?
No.
Fredericks outside for Kelly for three, off the rim. And it sinks. That one stopped dead, I think, there, Jamie, for a good second right on that rim before it fell.
Well,
so Kelly picks up another two. What's he got? I think 16 now on the night so far.
Kelly is having a great night, Chad. I'd have to add it up. He's got 12 right now.
Okay.
Oh, no, I stand corrected because he has that three-pointer. We'll get it in a second.
So he must have 17 then, I think.
I think you're right.
Ward from outside, guarded by Aiken. Ward pumps it up, off the rim. Mock unable to come up with the rebound, and the ball's going to be called for a jump ball and a possession arrow in favor of St. Lawrence Central. So St. Lawrence will get the ball back out of bounds and some substitutions back in the game as Bill Jones enters the game once again, as well as Chris Therrett. Ben Chapman comes out of the game. And also Kevin Crump taking a rest now. Bill Jones with it out near the top of the circle, tries to drive. We're going to have a foul called now against Jamie Mock. And Bill Jones trying to go down the lane. Mock mauling him and not letting him go anywhere with that one. So the Larrys will get it down on the end line as Chris Ward is ready to try and inbounds the ball.
Well, they are showing that as Mock's second personal foul. I've got him for 3. But, of course, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Just ask Chip Chapman. He'll tell you.
Corey Aikens did a good job there. As
oh, and the Taz.
Taz is called on the offensive foul there, Jamie.
What a play by McCauley. He was going to the net one way or the other there, I'll tell you. Mike McCauley, he has no fear, this man. He just...
Steve Dona asked him for the basket, saying that the ball was in the air before the foul, but the referee says,
Tell you one thing about Mike McCauley. If there was a brick wall across the paint in the lane, he'd say, oh, that's nothing, I'm going through it.
So the Taz comes out and takes a rest as he gets his third foul called on him on the offensive charge. And that whole play developed with a good block from Corey Aikens. Bill Jones actually had the ball, and Corey Aikens just batted it out of his hand and sent it down court for the Taz, Mike McCauley, who drove down the lane. And we've got a foul called now against the Red Raiders. And that was called against Mike Fredericks, was it, Jamie? Yep, Mike Fredericks called on the foul.
That is his second personal foul, too.
So the Larrys will get this one out of bounds. That's 4 personal fouls, or 14 fouls, rather, now for the Red Raiders.
And the rest of the scorers agree with me this time. Amazing.
Therrett drives, or now Therrett with it. Looks for Hamill. Hamill in the corner. Hamill trying to work it around. Good play. Good heads-up play there, Jamie. Yeah. Jeremiah Hamill was locked in the corner, and he just threw it off Alan Kelly's legs and kept possession of the ball. Good heads-up play there. Ball stolen away from Therrett. Fredericks brings it up the court now as Aikens was able to snag that one. Tries to throw it in. Jamie Mock goes up hard up against the glass and puts that one in as Ward tried to get a hand on that one.
Mock made a move like I thought he was going to go in and slam it.
It looked like it, didn't it? I think maybe he had that in his mind, but Ward was able to tie him up a little bit. Ward along the end line tries to tuck it up underneath, and that ball's going to be sent out of bounds. Last touch by Jamie Mock, the referee says, and the Larrys will keep possession. 2:07 left in our third quarter, 66-40 on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. Happy to have you along here at Larry Country on Edwards Production Sports. Therrett sends it back for Hamill. Hamill's got Chris Ward now outside for Therrett for two off the front of the rim. Brian McCulley comes up with the rebound for the Raiders. He sends it outside for Jamie Mock now, who brings it up over half court, settles it down for Corey Aiken. Aiken moves it down and almost loses it outside for Mock. Good dish down underneath for Kelly. Back out for Mock now. Corey Aiken settles it down along with Brian McCulley. Fredericks with it down on the end line underneath for Kelly. And that ball stolen away, knocked out of bounds. Will keep possession for the Red Raiders as
there was no room in the paint that time. Both Chris Ward and Phil Jones were right there, and they had their hands up, and then LeBrake added to the matter. And
doing a good job of boxing the Red Raiders out of there, not giving them anything underneath the basket, as Kelly and Mock are having a hard time under there. But Alan Kelly still receiving the ball, trying to do something with it. Mock underneath now. There's Jones once again, as well as Cole, and force Mock wide of the basket, and the Larrys come up with a rebound, Jamie.
I'll tell you, they've done a nice job underneath in the paint. The score don't reflect it, but they've done a nice job underneath.
Underneath for Cole now, and Barton comes up with it for the Red Raiders. Back to Mock, now back to Barton. Up over midcourt. Fredericks now down underneath for Kelly. Good dish off Kelly off the glass for two.
And I think that the Larrys are being very careful because of the foul trouble they're in right now, and I think that's why you're seeing the style of play we are right now.
Ooh, that ball almost stolen away there by Kelly as Chris Ward had it poked away from him, came back up with it. Now Hamill with it once again. Almost stolen away by Fredericks. Now we're going to have a foul called against Mike Barton, and boy, Jamie from here looked like he had his feet planted.
I'll tell you, that did. It looked like an offensive foul right there, but the foul going against Ben Chapman, and that is his first personal foul.
No, that's the foul goes against the Red Raiders. That's against Mike Barton.
I'm sorry? Yes, that is correct.
Chapman just entered the game, so you were on target.
Don't patronize me when I'm wrong.
Right team, wrong game. No.
I'm so used to Barton being number 52.
Oh, I know.
That is something we do want to pass along to everybody. He is wearing number 50 tonight. He does wear number 52 at home.
Underneath the basket now, Chris Ward in for Jones. Jones off the glass, way wide. Chapman comes in with the rebound, tries to poke it up, toss it up in the air, nowhere. Ward outside for two off the front of the rim, and Mock comes up with the rebound. What were you going to say, Jamie? Sorry about that.
I was just going to say a little chicanery by the Red Raiders to throw me off guard again.
Fredericks for three, and it's good.
That's the second one from downtown for Fredericks, by the way. He has 2 3-pointers on the night.
Chris Ward drives the lane down inside, tries to dish it off. Mike Fredericks comes up with the rebound. Fredericks playing both sides of the court tonight, Jamie.
Oh, what a nice dish to
Beautiful
Kelly.
dish. Good heads-up play from Mike Fredericks to find Alan Kelly wide open under the basket, and Kelly wastes no time. Sinking it for two more, and that's a buzzer.
Ward from downtown.
Chris Ward nails the three-pointer right at the buzzer.
And that is his third.
So after 3 quarters to play, the Red Raiders lead 73-42 on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with fourth quarter action right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to St. Lawrence Central as the Red Raiders lead the Larrys here for NAC boys basketball action. Happy to have you along here on Edwards Production Sports and on Cable 24.
Yes, we
Our
want to
new
mention
home
that.
on Massena New Channel.
They may have brought us down on the dial. We're still just as good as before.
Bringing it up there now for the Larrys.
I think our cameraman, Gary Edwards, is up high enough tonight where he's safe away from any hockey pucks or anything hitting him. I don't believe the ball will get up here.
Oh, Fredericks with the behind-the-back pass to Brian McCulley.
It's showtime in Brazier.
Oh, baby. Mike Fredericks is hot tonight. The Taz is resting, and Mike Fredericks is making the whirlwind.
Wow. They're out there having fun now.
Mike, the playman Fredericks.
Yes, and he has been all night.
Down underneath the basket with the rebound for the Red Raiders. Chris Frontera puts it up for two.
Boy, I'll tell you, the Red Raiders are having a field day out there right now. 77-42.
Down in the corner for Chapman. Now Cole with it. He's blocked in there. Outside for Ward. He dishes it off now. Arquette puts it up for two. He sinks it.
Nice passing there by the Larry.
Excellent. Larry's moved it around the key. Got an open man. Got it down in for Arquette. And Arquette made sure he put it in for two. Bart now for three. Now in and out on that one. Rebounded there by Frontera. Blocked by Cole. And Chapman brings it up for the Larrys. Dishes it off for Chris Ward. Ward for two. Off the front of the rim. Mock comes up with it. Headman for Frontera. Frontera puts it up. He's going to be fouled by Chris Ward. And he was nailed in the forehead on that play, and he's going to go to the line, I think, here, Jamie.
Well, Ward knew he had an easy two, and there was only one way to stop it, and that's be vicious about it, and he did stop it. But that is Ward's.
Is that Chris Ward's fifth foul?
I will have to see. I believe.
No, it's his third. They got up on the board. Mike Fredericks comes out of the game, Jamie, and he has been red hot. 4 fouls for Chris Ward, like you said, but Mike Fredericks retires here for a little while in his fourth quarter. And what a second half he has had.
He has had an excellent second half.
Frontera nails his first free throw attempt at the line. And Frontera's had some points here tonight for the Red Raiders, coming off the bench and keeping up the scoring for the Red Raiders. 4 points on the night now for Frontera. Correct, Jamie?
Yes, and
yes.
he's been good off, even though he hasn't put a lot of points on the board, he's had a lot of hustle out there. Got that ball back.
Come up with some key rebounds here for the Red Raiders. Down the corner, another one almost forced there. Chapman come up with it. Back outside for Therrett, blocked by Brian McCulley. Arquette drives, puts it up, and no good. Chapman comes up with it, turns, looks, off the back of the rim, and Kelly comes up with it. What were you going to say, Jamie? Sorry about that.
Chapman was triple teamed by the Red Raiders right there.
Kelly for three, no good. Barrett brings it up for the Larrys now. Down inside, outside now for three. Off the back of the rim, no good. Looking for the three was Josh Chapman on the play, and that one goes off the rim and out of bounds. And we've got a technical foul called against Barton now for the Red Raiders.
Oh, my. Well, I do not know what that was all about. And maybe Barton had a little too much to say to one of the players on the Larry squad, and I think that's what it was. And
so we will have 2 free throws here on the technical.
Coach Doan is settling him down a little bit over there.
I think Mike Barton is disappointed with himself. You could tell, because I think something slipped out that he really didn't want to say, but it came out anyways. And
yes,
he knew right away he shouldn't have said it too, because
wishing
the
of a
reaction
happy holiday to somebody out there, and didn't turn out correct.
So Joe Jubenville selects Richie Arquette to go to the line for the Larrys to shoot 2 on the technical to Mike Barton.
I think there's been more fouls tonight than we've seen so far this season in any game that we've done.
Well, I told you that game we saw between the Carthage Comets and the Massena Red Raiders was a very, very, very low fouling game. We didn't even get into the fouls until the second half. Actually, I don't even think we did. I think we got down inside the 2-minute mark or whatever, and they went to the line because of that.
Well, when we were on our way over here tonight, you kept telling me, now this is going to be a very aggressive contest. These two teams hate each other. So we've seen a couple of those this past week. We, of course, seen the Clarkson St. Lawrence University hockey game. And now we have a big rivalry here. And we got another big rivalry coming up tomorrow night in hockey, Chad.
So Hamill shoots his free throws and is successful with one. And yes, Jamie, the OFA Blue Devils will visit Red Raider country. And the Devils looking to stick it to the Red Raiders. That will be Wednesday night. I hope everybody's going to come out with their horns and their flags and their signs and their posters and root on their Massena Red Raiders, because the more people that come, it makes the game a lot more fun for the players. And then once again, it helps out the booster clubs with the revenues that they take in at the gate. So we hope you're going to come out and support your local sports.
Chapman hitting from downtown, Chad.
And if you can't make it out to the game, make sure you turn on Channel 24 and watch it live on Edwards Production Sports. Missed throw there by Fernstein as the Larrys bring it up. Chapman underneath. That one's blocked by the basket, and Arquette comes up with the rebound and pokes it in for two. 79-50 now.
Larry's starting to pour it on here.
We're going to have a foul called against Ben Chapman now, and that is going to be the 14th foul now for the Larrys. We're down to 4:47 left to play in our contest. 79-50 is our score on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. Mike the Tasmanian Devil McCulley brings it up, dishes off for Pete Fernstein. Outside for Akins. Akins for three off the front of the rim. Barton comes up with the rebound, blocked away by Ben Chapman, and we're going to have a jump ball.
Ooh.
Awful quick on the whistle there, Jamie.
Yeah, Aiken didn't have his hands on it for a very long time, but the possession arrow is still going in favor of the Larrys.
Hamill brings it up court now over midfield. Outside for Josh Chapman. Chapman down underneath for Arquette. Arquette for two off the rim, rebounded by Corey Aiken. Aiken dishes it off for Mike McCulley. McCulley along the far side, fakes, stops, pulls it back underneath for Mike Barton. Outside now for Frontera, off the rim, no good. Rebounded there by Josh Chapman. Up court now for Ben Chapman. Gets it to him. Chapman drive. Too far on that one, and Barton can't come up with it. Cole sinks it for two, and the Larrys now, Jamie, are within 17 points.
Larry's have come back strong here.
Frontera with the spin move there. Nice, pretty, sweet one there,
wow.
And he sinks it for two.
Barnum and Bailey effect. A little bit of a dance there at the end.
We've seen quite a few of those moves tonight here, Jamie.
Yes,
and
we have.
an exciting, definitely talented players out there tonight, and showing some nice moves out there tonight, making it very interesting. And if you haven't been out to a high school basketball game, you got to get out and watch one. They're definitely exciting to watch, and get out here and cheer on the players because it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. Coming out and seeing them live is great. 52-81.
Oh, that's an 8 on the clock. Oh, okay. It's 81-52, Jamie.
Well, Gary Edwards with the keen eye there. Yes, it is. That's the second time tonight we've had that.
So 81-52. A 27-point game here for the Red Raiders. 3:38 left to play on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard here in our contest. Hope you're enjoying it. It's a good one. And we're going to have a foul called against Mike Fredericks, and he tries to get a hand in there on the ball, and he's called on the foul, and I think that's going to send Ben Chapman to the line, Jamie, as they are in there.
Yeah, they're ready to go to the charity line from now on, I believe. Yes, they are.
Well, the Red Raiders are over their team foul mark, so
that is Frederick's third personal foul. And Ben Chapman, who's been, well, in the last few minutes here, the last couple of quarters, he's been fantastic for the Larrys. A lot of hustle out there.
Ball in and out. Fredericks comes up with it, feeds it up court, and there's going to be a foul there.
Wow.
As John Lawrence was just all over.
Wow. John Lawrence with the hockey-style check into the boards there at the end.
All over Brian Bissonette. Tried to knock him out of bounds before he reached the end zone.
John just into the game. That's his first personal foul, by the way.
Brian Bissonette in the game now for the Red Raiders. His first one is wide of the mark. So Bissonette steps up to the line, settles himself down, and is going to look for his second free throw. He's still got some substitutions now. Coming into the game is Alan Foster, as well not sure who number 12 is for the Larrys. We'll try and find that out for you.
We don't have number 12 on our roster. Interesting.
Barrett steps on the line, and the ball is turned over for the Red Raiders.
Well, I wish we could pass that along to you, but we can't. Joe Jubinville with a little chicanery here. Who is this fellow?
Fredericks drives up off the front of the rim, no good. Brian McCulley with it. No good off the rim again, and that's last touch by Pete Fernstein, knocked out of bounds as Therrett tried to come down with it. And the Larrys keep possession. Chris Sterrett brings it up for the Red Raiders, or the Larrys, rather.
We want to apologize that we don't have a name on that player, Chad.
Arquette in the paint. Good for 2. Brian McCulley dishes it out now. Bissonette leaves it back for Brian McCulley once again. McCulley drives, looking around for somebody. Out for Pete Bernstein. Now almost stolen away there by Alan Foster. Fredericks with it. Drives down inside. No good. And we're going to have a foul called against Foster on the play, Jamie. And still one more foul to go for the Larrys before they send. No, they are going to send Fredericks to the line.
Oh, I believe the foul is on Richie Arquette.
They called it on Arquette?
Yeah, they did.
So Fredericks under the basket to inbounds it.
Hard to tell who it's on when you got a couple of fellows right nearby.
Mark Griffin in the game now for the Red Raiders. There's Griffin with it now. Off the glass. Good!
And it will count. And the foul to go along with it.
So Mark Griffin will go to the line now for the Red Raiders as he is in the game tonight for his first time. Looking to try and make a 3-point play. 2:24 left to play in our contest. Hope you're enjoying it here on Edwards Production Sports. 83-54 on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. Off the front of the rim. Picks up his own rebound. Dishes it off for Pete Bernstein. Bernstein tries to keep possession. Blocked underneath. Now Arquette comes up with it for the Larrys.
I don't know how Bernstein came up with that ball, to tell you the truth, on that, Chad.
Sterrett for 2. That's wide of the mark. Rebounded there, and good rebound there, Jamie, by Alan Foster as he picked up the rebound, put it up for 2.
That's his first 2 points of the game right there for Foster.
A falling away, too. He was falling back on that play and got it off. Pete Bernstein a little too hard.
Right there. Nice pass to Bernstein. He just couldn't put it in.
A little too hard on it. Sterrett drives inside the paint, puts it up off the rim. Bissonette comes up with the rebound. Now we got a foul called against Chris Sterrett. And that, Jamie, will send Bissonette to the line.
And that is the second personal foul on Sterrett.
Brian Bissonette will go to the line for his second time tonight.
Well, we definitely have seen a different Red Raider team than we saw a couple of games ago. They came back and had a heck of a game against the Watertown Cyclones, as you mentioned.
So Coach Steve Dona getting some of the third stringers in the game, allowing them to get some playing time. Fredericks underneath. Arquette comes up with it, stolen away by Bernstein almost, and now we've got a jump off foul, and the Red Raiders will keep possession.
And getting aggressive underneath.
Brian Bissonette, one of the players that Steve Dona getting in, allowing him to get some playing time.
Yeah, Coach Dona is really going at these fellows. This is the second string team, and he wants them to play just as hard.
Mark Griffin also in the game. Fredericks is called on the travel. And this is nice to see. Good response from the bench for Coach Steve Dona.
Yes, and it's giving him a lot of playing time, too, which is going to be important later on.
Arquette for 2, down to 1:16 left in our ball game here on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. And the Red Raiders, Jamie, have had a very impressive game here tonight. And let's take a look at who we're going to select for our 3 stars of the game.
Oh, we'll have to take a look back. I know Alan Kelly from Massena is definitely going to be one of them. He's had an assortment of points tonight.
And I would have to say our second one is going to be Mike Fredericks, who has been just phenomenal in the second half. All over the place and playing great under the basket, rebounding, and also sinking them from the floor. And, of course, our third player of the game will be...
I'm going to have to say Chris Ward had a lot of hustle for the St. Lawrence Central Larry, so I'd have to give our third selection in tonight's game to Chris Ward. He had a lot of hustle out there earlier. He took some three-point shots that wouldn't go in for him, a couple of in-and-outers. And it had to be frustrating, but he brought it on for the St. Lawrence Central Larrys.
So that's our 3 stars of the game here for Edwards Productions. And Jamie Davis is 3 stars of the game. And at the line right now, Arquette for the Larrys.
Alan Kelly had 17 points on the evening. That's unofficial, by the way.
So Alan Kelly having a good showing here tonight. I know he had 8 points in that first half. So 8 points for Alan Kelly. Larrys keep possession out of bounds now in for Sterrett.
I'm really impressed with this Massena Red Raiders second squad that's in here right now. They're doing a heck of a job out there.
Arquette, good throw up there, a little too hard, in and out. There underneath the basket, tries to poke it up, but we're going to call it a travel or an up and down, either or. He could have picked there.
A little too many
pulling out of the hat.
Hippity hops to the barber shop there in front of the referee. He said, no, I'm sorry, that's too much of the kangaroo effect. You walked there.
Red Raiders and the Larrys here tonight. A very good showing from the Larrys here tonight, Jamie. Definitely a smaller school than the Red Raiders, and when the Red Raiders come over to play, the Larrys with a lot of aspirations to win the game, but always a fantastic showing from the Larrys, and you could never, ever take the St. Lawrence Larrys lightly, and I think Coach Joe Jubenville is going to be pleased with the play of his players tonight. We're down to just 19 seconds left in our game.
One thing we might add, Chad, both of these teams are from two different divisions, one from the East and one from the Central. Of course, Massena in the Central Division, and the Larrys from that Eastern Division of the NAC.
Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors helping to bring you this contest here tonight at Edwards Production Sports, Club 37, Massena Building Supply, Frenchie's, Leroy Oil and Brazier Quick Stop, Michelix Plastics, Susie Travel, Hotel Netto, WB Goodnow Insurance Agency, World of Color, Whalen Insurance, and TVI. That ends our contest here today, folks. 83-58 is our final score on the Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard. And a good showing here tonight for the Red Raiders and the Larrys of St. Lawrence. We hope you enjoyed our contest here tonight on Edwards Production Sports. We hope you'll join us for more NAC basketball action here on Edwards Production Sports throughout the winter. For Jamie Davis and Chad Edwards and Gary Edwards on camera, thank you for joining us tonight for NAC boys basketball action here on Edwards Production Sports.